Here we have the YT-2400 Freighter expansion pack for the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game by Fantasy Flight. In this video I'll perform a detailed unboxing showing the full contents in close-up detail with zoom-ins on the ship as well as all cards and tokens so you can see and read all the text. Okay, you need to rip off the cellophane from the outside of the box, but it's a simple case of two separate boxes within a box. So first I'm going to pull out all the cards and tokens that are kind of slid within this protective cardboard sleeve. Get that out of the way. Always good to see additional missions and rules. Large base and stand. The button for the dial and all the cards. We'll come to that shortly. Let's get the figure out. Always well protected with double-sided plastic. Just slide that off. No tape or anything. There are no tags on this one. Some of the large ships have tags, so you need to be mindful. And there we already have the ship. Particularly large looking lasers here, turret lasers again. So there are echoes of Millennium Falcon throughout. And we're going to do some good zoom-ins of these together. But look at the size of those compared to poor old Millennium Falcon. So certainly some differences here. It's obviously a smaller ship, but it's actually got some quite awesome features that we're going to go through when we go through the cards in detail. I'm just going to get this assembled on its base. Here's a quick look at everything that's inside the box. I'm going to go through each of the cards in detail as I go through each section of the video. One quick thing I want to point out from the booklet is a couple of new rules and mission 10. So you've got a really nice fun mission 10 setup where you get to use these debris fields in amongst an asteroid field. And you've got these cache tokens, there's quite a few of those, and some of the cache tokens are intact and some have already been raided. So basically you've got to fly your YT-2400 through a field trying to find all the good cache points before the Imperials that are after you kill you. Now this large ship can actually perform a barrel roll, so there's a new rule and a clarification of exactly how to do that, and I'll show you that in the video as well. Looking at the scale, it's very much a large ship, but it's not the largest of large ships. The Millennium Falcon is certainly dominating its base and overlapping in many more axes than this new YT-2400, which only really overhangs on one side. It's obviously got a lovely curved styling, and it's got a similar kind of cockpit arrangement as the Millennium Falcon. But if I turn it round just quickly, you can have a quick look at the engines, and as you'll see, a much simpler port at the back. So you haven't quite got this wonderful curve that the Millennium Falcon's got. And there are 6 sort of, let's call them intake vents, I don't know what they actually are, and only 3 on the smaller freighter. So it's a really interesting ship. It's got a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. Certainly it's a smaller, medium-sized large ship, let's call it. In fact, it is meant to be a medium-shaped sized ship, but it's also meant to have a credible sized cargo hold based on the Shadows of the Empire kind of stories of Dash Rendar in his Outrider. Okay, I'm going to zoom right in close now so you can see the ship in greater detail. And we're going to spin the ship once the camera settled down there. So it's got some beautiful coloration. Got that kind of red A-wing colouring going on there, as well as some nice yellow. So just a few panels. Some brilliant scarring and scorching around the back near the engine vents. As you can see, the centre of the ship isn't actually the centre of that circular dish. I'll just get that X-wing out of the way. Don't need to see that quite so close now. And it's actually slightly offset, but it's central to the figure. But it looks a little bit odd as I'm spinning it on this table here. You've also got a nice entrance port door just going around the side here now, and continuation of this beautiful coloration. You've got a particularly nice spot here, so I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go, you can see this really nice grey, red and yellow. So again, excellent, nice, simple but clear and crisp paint job. Always very pleased with Fantasy Flight. The figures are awesome and well painted, and I'm just going to really show you that it is echoed underneath. So although this is the part of the ship you don't really get to see, you have got a underside that's quite different to the top. You've also got the rear bottom mounted swivel lasers again. And I'm going to just turn that around a little bit. So again, there's something going on underneath the rear part of the engine compartment. Again, I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's again different to the Millennium Falcon. So this is the angle you're not going to see. It's always a shame, I find, when you never get to see the undersides of these ships, because they're just so gorgeous and beautiful, and Fantasy Flight and the modelers and sculptors do such a good job. I always like to give it at least a once-off view. Okay, let's just remind ourselves of a barrel roll. So you'd normally have the one movement marker placed against the side of a TIE fighter, for example, and you'd then get to do a full move and slide up to the extent of the base. Okay, now then, the freighter, similar kind of idea. Let's just place the one movement counter to its side, but as you can see, it's now thin side or skinny side on, or I guess you could talk about it as long side against the base of the ship. We're now going to move the ship, and again you get to the full extent, but there's a barrel roll by a large ship, so it's moved quite a considerable distance, but it's done it in a different way than you'd normally use for the smaller ship bases. Okay, let's start with the pilots. What's common with all the cards is the attack of 2, the agility of 2, the hull of 5, shields of 5. We're then going to look at the action bar, and they've all got focus, target lock and barrel roll, and that's particularly unique for large ships, certainly up to this point in time. The upgrade bar, they all have cannon, missile and crew, and then Lebo and Dash Rendar both have an elite pilot upgrade as well. 2-point pilot skill, Wild Space Fringer or Fringer. I'll just quickly read through this. Although a stock YT-2400 light freighter had plenty of space for cargo, that space was often annexed to support modified weapon systems and oversized engines. Perfect for smugglers. 30 points. 3-point pilot skill, Eden Vril. 32 points. When performing a primary weapon attack against a stressed ship, roll 1 additional attack dice. And that's quite good when you've only got an attack of 2. Lebo. Now Lebo is actually a sort of cyborg or robot captain. 5-point pilot skills, 34-point card. When you're dealt a face-up damage card, draw 1 additional damage card. Choose one to resolve and discard the other. That can really help you avoid those real nasty criticals that debilitate your ship. It's a good chancer card. And the best, of course, 7-point pilot skills, Dash Rendar, the namesake, 36 points. You may ignore obstacles during the activation phase and when performing actions. So this really is the, exactly as the art on the box and exactly as the art on the card. This is the guy going through debris and asteroid fields. This is the flying feat that this pilot has. And this echoes through from the Shadows of Empire, Dash Rendar in his Outrider ship doing fantastic smuggling and other freight hauling type tasks. Great movement dial as well, as you can see here. So it's got a lot of speed as well, 4 straight forward. Can do a 180 turn on 4, which is pretty good as well. And certainly for a large ship, this thing is toting around. It can turn, bank and turn at pretty much all the first 3 speeds. And it's only missing a 5, it's incredibly nippy as ships go. So, okay, let's start with some of the cards. So the elite pilot upgrades. Stay on target, 2 points. When you reveal a maneuver, you may rotate your dial to another maneuver with the same speed. Treat that maneuver as a red maneuver. So basically it's going to mean you can actually move and change your choice of direction. So simply put, if you're going 2 right, you can go 2 left. Really nice, it lets you choose and react to the movements on the board. Again, it's a really good one to encourage high pilot skills. Nice card. Lone Wolf. When attacking or defending, if there are no friendly ships at range 1 to 2, you may re-roll one of your blank results. It's fine if you've got a bunch of A-wings or something swarming around the asteroid belt. You're actually tooling around the edges, trying to get that optimal target range of 2 on your enemy ship, and you're away from your compadres, then that could work really well. 2-point card. Now let's go for the cannon, the heavy laser cannon. We all know this and love this card. Immediately after rolling your attack die, you must change all of your critical damage results to damage results. So lots of damage, 7-point card, but a very impressive heavy laser cannon. Proton rockets, nothing special here, but obviously there's a picture of an A-wing, so this came with the A-wings, perfect for them. It's a nice, light, cheap rocket, nice damage, and 3-point card. I'm not sure I'm going to be packing missiles on this ship. You get 2 of these, so the countermeasures. It's an interesting card, but I'm not sure worth the money. So 3 points, large ship only modification. At the start of the combat phase, you may discard this card to increase your agility value by 1 until the end of the round. Then you may remove 1 enemy target lock from your ship. So it's a once use only card. It really is chaff. You know, it's putting out kind of a ECG kind of countermeasures. But I'm not sure 3 points for that one point, unless you're constantly in dire straits, is really worth spending on. I'm sure I've got 3 more points to use somewhere else and another card. This one's really interesting modification. Experimental interface. Once per round after you perform an action, you may perform 1 free action from an equipped upgrade card with the action header, then receive 1 stress token. So you're basically going to get to do something again, and it's going to cost you a stress. It really is a combination card. It's going to take some time for me to get some good ideas with some deck building, but I can see this one coming to its fore. And the title card. This is the one, Outrider, and it's really from the Shadows of the Empire. If you do know the backstory, this is what makes that ship so special. It's very much like Han Solo's Millennium Falcon. It's not a normal freighter. So while you have the cannon upgrade card equipped, you cannot perform primary weapon attacks. Okay, fine. There are only 2 anyway. And you may perform your cannon secondary weapon attacks against ships outside your firing arc. So basically you can ignore the fact that you've got yourself this limited second range weapon, makes that a primary, makes it 360 turret. Oh look, heavy laser cannon. That makes a lot more sense why the figure itself has got such large guns, top and bottom, and I think really explains what this YT-2400 freighter is all about. Okay, last but not least, the crew cards. So we've got a couple of unique ones here. So Dash Rendar, rebel only. You may perform attacks while overlapping an obstacle. Your attacks cannot be obstructed. 2-point card. So that really does give that, again, asteroid, obstacle, large ship, small ship, that classic obstruction that you get with large ships really helps bypass that. So perhaps Dash Rendar flying in Lebo's ship, that could be a really nice combo. And here's Lebo, who I think would be really good, and Dash Rendar ship. So rebel only, action performing a free boost action, then receive 1 ion token. So as an action you get to do an extra boost. That's fantastic. The amount of manoeuvrability you're going to have with a large sized ship base. You get an iron token, but again, large ships, until you've got a couple, you don't really need to worry about that. So doing that around the game, and then finding an area safe, chilling out, going 1 green forward to drop the irons, no problem at all. Again, 2-point. Third 2-point pilot, this time non-unique, Mercenary Copilot. When attacking at range 3, you may change 1 of your damage results to a critical result. Not bad at all. Range 3, of course, it's the optimal range for the defending, so it's not the perfect range. Range 2 would be nice as well, but not a bad card. Okay, another unique card here, Lando Calrissian, 3-point card, rebel only. Action, roll 2 defense dice. For each focus result, assign 1 focus token to your ship. For each evade result, assign 1 evade token to your ship. Fair enough. A little bit of a gamble, quite nice, nothing bad there. And Gunner, 5 points. After you perform an attack that does not hit, you may immediately perform a primary weapon attack. You cannot perform another attack this round. Just to make sure people don't read the rule wrong, that last clarification there. I'm always extra pleased when there's a really nice combination within the box with the figure. And here's a really simple one. It's a 52-point setup, so you've got Dash Rendar, 7-point piloting skill, 36-point card, with of course the Outrider title. And then of course adding to that the heavy laser cannon, which is absolutely critical, so these two really do link together beautifully. Lebo, I think, would make a really good kind of co-pilot, because he gives you the free boost action as an action, and then you receive 1 iron token. I think that's easy to handle with a large ship. And of course, stay on target. Now, okay, you're only a 7-point pilot, but stay on target. Swarm of cheap TIE fighters, it's going to make all the difference. You're going to be out manoeuvring everybody, and if you've got some asteroids on the table, they'll become your friends. And I think this is a really nice simple combination. So 52 points, and you've got yourself something quite awesome here, and certainly some fun will ensue. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please feel free to like, subscribe and comment.